Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to yet another PlayStation
Education.
Yeah, most certainly. And today, we'll talk about another co-op adventure. We already did one of these. We talked about Borderlands 2. Exceptionally good game. Here's another one of our co-op adventures. We're going to try to get through it. Try to get through 2 or 3 more before you end up leaving.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Actually, do that.
Yeah, we get around time to it. There's no time for that. What are we doing with all these games? Yes, not enough time. But this one was on a whim. I saw it on sale on the PlayStation, the PSN. Like I said, I'm kind of spoiled at this point. Between PSN and my PS Plus, I get so many games for free or for like $5 or less. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to pay full retail for a game.
Oh, yeah.
And this game has actually been out for a little while. I want to say it came out 2011, December 2011. It's called Trine 2. And all I knew about it was that it was a co-op side-scroller fantasy game. So I immediately started thinking like the X-Men. And we probably should do a mini one of these on our adventures on the X-Men. Welcome to die. Yeah, actually, I got this for cheaper than the X-Men. X-Men cost me $5. I got this for $3.50. Wow. And I thought $3.50. That's it's pennies. That's not too bad. It's doable. The game really turns out all right. The scores is getting back. We're in the 90s. It sounded like a pretty solid game, but I didn't know anything about it. Turns out, I was only half right. It is side scroller. It is fantasy, but it's not quite the brawler I was thinking it was.
Nope, it is actually a majority of a puzzle game. Of course, there is a good bit of fighting in it, but yeah, it's mainly puzzles.
So you have 3 characters.
Yep.
They are?
You'd be the knight. He gets the shield, he has a sword, and he switches to a 2-handed hammer. You have the mage, if you will. He can create things, boxes. Or
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry. Maybe that joke way too much. As the game goes on, you start with only being able to crit like 1-2 boxes, and then if the game goes on, you can buy another one. You get up to 4 items at once, so you can have 2 planks, 2 boxes, 4 planks, 4 boxes, whatever. Obviously, that means he's not a very good fighter. You also can buy the ability to, upgrade the ability to pick up villains or bad guys. But
he has no ability to attack.
Yeah, you only can pick up 1, and unless you take him over to where it's like shooting fire or whatever, you can't really kill anyone. Yeah. So when we got into a fight, Jane would always switch from the wizard to the archer or the thief.
The thief.
Yeah,
she was an acrobat.
Cool. Yeah,
she could any kind of wooden surface. She could have a grappling hook onto it. She can swing back and forth. And the way the game. Batman. The way the game was set up, there was always multiple ways to get through something.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool how there'd be puzzles that we knew how to do it, but doing it would be difficult, so we just said, screw it. We were able to upgrade in the right areas to make this puzzle super easy.
Yeah. The one we kept trying, we're like, okay, we know how to do it. We're getting so close, but this is what we're going to do. I was the knight. I jumped on top of one of the boxes. Jamin lifted it, put me over to where we need to be, and then I would change to the wizard and do the same thing for him. And I was like, okay, that's a little cheap, but you know what? We're getting frustrated.
We upgraded the skills. We chose the skills. We chose our skills well, and so we were rewarded for it. That's how I like to view it. So the game it wasn't too long. I think the call there on how long to beat was 8 hours. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It took us 4 sittings.
About 4, yeah.
About 4 sittings, about 2 hours apiece. 13 chapters. And it was each one was a good mixture. You'd have a couple of jumping puzzles, a couple of how we get through this puzzles, then you have a little bit of fighting. Fight the goblins or whatever. And how you chose to level your skills was really interesting. You're all 3 characters at the same time.
Yeah, you can just press like the R1 and L1 and then switch to the character. So obviously if you're playing 2-player, you can only change to one other character because only one's not being used.
Yeah. But you could always switch around.
Yeah.
Which we did quite often. Mm-hmm. But when you leveled up, you got to choose which skill to level up for which character. So, we shared experience points, we shared level ups. So it always came down to
who do we use more? What do we need?
Yep. So upgrading the knight obviously made those combat sections a lot easier, especially the boss fights. Mm-hmm. It was actually pretty tough. Or it's like you got unlimited continues, otherwise you kind of would have been in trouble.
Yeah, there's just that one, was it the Goblin King or whatever? That guy was tough.
Yep. And then of course, or choosing between that or choosing to upgrade the wizard, because the more upgrades you have in him, the easier the puzzles become. So it was a good balance.
Of course, sometimes you have to save up as well because the first few things are just one skill point, 2 skill points, and then 3 skill points.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you just had to save up.
Yep. We had almost every skill knocked by the time we ended. We didn't have the knight's final, and we didn't have 2 from the
Bandit.
The thief. But yeah, game was a lot of fun. I had a good time. The story was James guessed it right away. Although we never found out what was up with the flower.
I think what actually happened, I think we read a note or something like that in front of the flower, and we thought the flower was saying it. No, because they were talking about it.
Yeah.
The flower.
Whoever met a talking flower? Let's go and talk to every flower in the forest.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Spot on in the night right there. That was... I thought he was sitting right here. Anyways.
You're a wizard, Jamesy.
It's funny. Have you even seen any of those movies?
I have seen. I take that back. I have seen one, and it was one of the middle ones. I want to say it was The Order of the Phoenix. And people keep telling me, "Oh, watching that one is this like the worst one? What's the context? That is horrible." It wasn't very good.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of them. I just never really gotten into that. I feel bad because everyone I meet is like, it's Harry freaking Potter, man. Okay, I'm sorry.
What you know about them Chronicles of Narnia, son? Don't be talking to me about no classic wizards.
Anyways, back on track. Even Lord of the Ring, Gandalf. Anyways, where the flower thing? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just possible that it's like a. Oh wait, no, duh. It is a spell. Remember? She was underground and she was caught up in the vines. The vines asleep. That made her sleep.
Oh.
And so it was her subconscious talking through the flower.
Talking through the flower. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so
they did explain that. Never mind.
So what happens when the game starts?
That's kind of right. I said she got turned into a flower. It was sort of right.
So when the game starts, you're playing as the wizard, and you get visited by the Trine. Now, I never played the first Trine, so I have no idea what the story is with the Trine. But it seems to be like some kind of magical MacGuffin. It comes and the wizard's like, oh no, not the Trine again, and he feels compelled that he has to go follow it. So he goes out and follows it, runs into the knight, and then eventually into the thief. And they're trying to follow the Trine, and that's where they run into the flower.
Well, it's because the Trine actually transports them to the other, not like other world or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That
Kingdom,
which is actually what the forest is going crazy, and because of that, it's making their world's forest go all out of whack, which is why the wizard went out in the first place. He said something dark and something wasn't right, so he went through the forest to see what's up. That's when the Trine showed up.
Yeah.
So, not playing the first one, there was very, very few things that was actually confusing.
Like, the only thing that, I was confused about is what's the Trine?
Yeah, and like, you missed out the, some of the backstory for the characters and how they met and everything because they already knew each other because this is the second one. But really, playing it through, there wasn't much.
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, so it's alright if you don't know the story.
It's like playing through Portal 2 without playing Portal 1. You don't really need to know who Shell is to enjoy the game, but that's another game we need to try to find time for. That game's a lot of fun. But continuing on, the three are traveling through the forest, and then, like you said, they find a flower. The flower keeps talking about finding its sister, and the adventurers are a little confused. Talking flower, flowers have sisters. How are we going to find another talking flower? So they kind of continue on the quest until they run into what they believe to be a witch.
Yes. Oh, they ran into what they thought was a dragon, but then during the fight, they discovered
Dragon wasn't real.
Dragon was not real. It was an illusion. So they figured, there's a witch not wanting us in here. So after you beat the first section, you go up to the castle, and the lady's there, and she says, we got through all the traps to set up for the goblins. After talking, it finds out that she used to be a queen of this kingdom, but the forest went crazy, everything's going wrong, and so she lost her kingdom, and now it's run by the goblins. They didn't really run the kingdom; they just took over the castle. Yes. I mean, goblins allowed to run jack squat. So you agreed to help her out and go over to the castle and get rid of the goblins. So that's what you do. You go over there, you fight the Goblin King and everything. But along the way, you start finding poems that talk about these two sisters. And the first few just comment, today I turned 7, today I turned 8, 9, and then slowly went up, and then little notes between them. And of course, this is
a lot of we're talking about like birthdays.
Yeah.
Like happy birthday, sis. the shoes you gave me were wonderful or whatever, and you're just like, what's going on? Because we're not sure if it's the poems we found and the notes we found are the same people, because the narrator reads the poems, but the characters that wrote it read the notes. So it took us a little while to make the connection that it's the same people.
I knew right away.
Or whatevs.
Anyways, as you go, you find out that the lady, the witch or the queen that you were helping out, was very, very close to her sister at one point. But then,
painting,
yeah, as you slowly go through the castle and everything, where she's telling you, no, that's okay, you did a good job, you can come back now, We're like, no, we're gonna explore a little bit more. So then you find out more, and so you realize that she tricked her sister. Her sister was a favorite. Her sister was the one chosen to be queen.
Yes.
So she tricked her, and when you go back to the castle and you find out she put her in an eternal sleep, and her thought was, I would make her such a better queen. So by actually putting her in that sleep and getting covered in the vines and everything, it actually made her powers connect to the force, which made the force go all out of whack and crazy. So after you defeat the crazy lady and awaken the other sister, she actually saves her sister, the one who put her in a sleep for so long. Dives into the water that she fell into, brings her out, and that's kind of the game. Pretty much ends. The three heroes save the day, of course.
Yes. And then they go back home. So, like I said, we talked about a lot about how the gameplay and story. Let's talk about a little bit about the aesthetics. The game looked really pretty for a indie downloadable game.
It did. It really did.
I was a little shocked. It had a, how can I put this? There was nothing about the game that looked like it was pushing the system. There was no like massive polygons or anything, but everything, like the way the aesthetic, like the art design and the way lighting was done, just looked really impressive.
It really did. And I just walking through the forest looked really cool. Like the leaves and everything, and the water would pour off of them. I mean, they did a really good job on the water effect. I mean, it's no Uncharted, but it's still pretty good.
Still pretty good, really good. They're $3.50.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So okay, like we get to with most things. A, did you enjoy it?
Heck yeah.
B, would you recommend it?
Yeah.
And C, to whom?
Puzzle game fans and fantasy, obviously, because there's enough fantasy and there's enough little fighting in it that you can enjoy it. But if you hate puzzle games, you're not gonna like this game at all.
I highly recommend co-op.
Yes.
This is couch co-op. So you just press start to join. It's a drop in, drop out. So you can press start to join, press start to leave at any time you want for player 2. I highly recommend playing it that way. It makes a lot of the puzzles easier and makes the combat sections obviously way easier.
That's true.
So any closing thoughts?
It was a really fun game. You should play it. Meh.
There you go. That was Trine 2. I'm pretty sure the sale is over on PSN, but
it's still probably really cheap.
Yeah, so probably really cheap. You probably could pick it up off of Steam for really cheap too. So this has been another PlayStation Education, a little co-op adventure. Hopefully get more of these out soon. We're working on one now is another super on sale $5 knee-jerk purchase, and I'm kind of enjoying it.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll have more on that in the coming week. So we'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye-bye.
Magic potatoes.